Hey everybody, welcome to a special episode here on Vincent's Vid. We're doing an Orange Reel movie review, but this time I've got Jamie from Neo Trash Video here to help me. And what are we going over, Jamie?
Well, you asked me very politely if I would watch the previous version of the Suicide Squad. The version that was directed by David Ayer, and to kind of get ourselves pumped for the new Suicide Squad from James Gunn, which personally I am super jazzed about as an unabashed James Gunn fanboy. I mean, I've loved James Gunn back to the Troma days. Whenever he did, when he was
I have one of his right here. Hold on,
is it Tromeo and Juliet?
I think I might be. I have some. Oh, hold on.
Please hold on. Technical difficulties. We'll be right back after these words.
Where did I put? I might have put it in the. I don't know where to put this category.
Well, all right, but yeah, I
have.
Oh, Lolly Love! Oh my God!
Don't even ask me how
That is a true oddity.
I haven't watched it. I just have it.
Well, I'll tell you about it. Okay, Lolly Love is actually not James's personal movie. This is actually directed by his wife at the time, Jenna Fisher from.
Oh, so that's why they're.
Yes.
Oh.
Plus, it also has appearances by Lloyd Kaufman, the person behind Troma, as Rabbi Kaufman. And is really cool in the fact that actual wedding footage of James and Jenna is in there.
No way.
Yeah, but I do know that there's also appearances by Linda Cardellini.
Oh, sweet.
Jason Segel and Judy Greer.
Oh wow, that's a nice cast there.
Yeah, but the movie itself is kind of not the it's a good idea, but kind of short-sighted.
Oh, okay.
I think that it could. It's done mockumentary style, so you know that it's got an idea behind it, but it's about people who are very, very short-sighted in their want to provide charity.
Oh, okay, all right. I can kind of see where this is going. But anyway, so yeah, and speaking of short-sighted, we need to, before we actually get into Suicide Squad, the David Ayer directed movie, or not David Ayer, which we'll get into in a minute, let's talk about some of the background on this movie. Now, obviously, the DCEU has been, definitely has had its ups and downs over the years. Unfortunately, a lot of downs, and a big part of that is, as I've made it clear in previous videos, I do not enjoy Zack Snyder's vision for the DCU, but I'm also not one of those people that's stupid and doesn't realize that the studio itself plays a large part in why the DCEU has failed. And one of the failures of DCU, unfortunately, in my opinion, was Suicide Squad, because they completely re-edited this film.
Yeah, I would be very interested to see what David Ayer's original vision was. Zack Snyder, I have kind of a tenuous relationship with, because he's done some incredible work. Sucker Punch is up there, which is completely underappreciated for what it actually is. I actually really kind of liked his directing on Dawn of the Dead, which was written by James Gunn.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Romero purist. I love Uncle George, and I actually used to work in Monroeville Mall, so Dawn of the Dead is like sacred to me.
Oh.
But I thought that there was enough different and interesting in the remake of Dawn of the Dead that it felt like its own animal instead of like a rehash. Yeah. But I think that Zack Snyder has kind of a cache where if you know his style and you like his style, you're in for everything. But he's not for everyone.
He's definitely like, I think for me it's like what he's working on. Like I said, I've done 2 videos. I did a video on Man of Steel. I did a video on Batman v Superman about my issues, where I at least acknowledge what I think he does right in those films. But I haven't hated everything Zack Snyder did. 300, enjoy 300. Watchmen, I know, beyond the fact that he's mostly faithful to it. I think Watchmen does have some problems, but overall, I think Watchmen's an enjoyable film.
I will agree with you. Watchmen has some really good imagery to it, especially that beginning intro sequence set to the times they are a changing.
Yeah.
That is pure beauty.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I'll never deny Zack Snyder like visuals. He's really good visuals. My issues usually come with character and story. But anyway, going back to David Ayer, who, funny enough about his cut, recently he did come out and say that because before when the movie originally came out, he's under contract with Warner Bros. He said, no, this cut of the movie we're getting in theaters is my film. It's my cut of the film, even though all sources from like Variety to Deadline Hollywood were reporting differently. But he has come out recently and he said, no, what was released in theaters was not my cut. What I had was very different. And I would be, I wasn't not very much down for the Snyder cut. I would be down for the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad.
Well, I would love to see that myself because Ayer from, I'm confusing him with David Goyer who wrote The Crow. So
yeah, no, we're not Goyer.
but I think that that Suicide Squad itself has a lot of things that are, a lot of the parts are very good, but I'm not sure if they're coalescing properly under a different person's tutelage.
Exactly, yeah, because I forget the name of it, but because Batman v Superman did not do as well as Warner Brothers wanted it to do, and before anyone says anything, yes, the opening weekend it made a ton of money, but its second second weekend it had a pretty steep drop off. So when I say it worried Warner Brothers, that's what I'm talking about. On top of the divide between reviews with critics and fans, and divides in each of them. But so they got the company that did the trailer, the trailer that did like the Queen music in it. Why can't I think of the song? Mamma Mia?
Oh, you're talking Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Which, even though I love the song, it's overused in pop culture movies now. Yeah. I mean, like, Wayne's World did it perfect, and then it becomes a cliche. Yeah.
Speaking of Wayne's World, before that movie came out, they were able to show that scene to Freddie Mercury. This is like just months before he passed away, and apparently he loved it because it reminded of him and the gang back in the day when they'd be in the van going from gigs. But
I know that Mike Myers personally fought like hell to get that in the movie. I believe Paramount wanted them to use a Guns N' Roses song, and he's like, no, this is what is tantamount to us making this scene work, and it's exactly what you need because it's not the thing that you would expect them to want to be playing, but it feels so organic to the scene.
Oh yeah, no, definitely worked with all of them doing their little parts in the car. But yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody, they put that in the trailer for Suicide Squad. I thought the trailer got me excited. And then the movie, and then we started hearing about the movie getting re-edited. We started hearing about like reshoots, which reshoots are not always a bad thing, but I think reshoots have come up in so many high-profile movies that the word reshoot has become a four-letter word. When actually it actually happens pretty often. It's just that it's been happening with very particular properties a lot lately. And then the movie came out. We all saw it. I had not watched the movie all the way through since it came out several years ago. When I watched it, I thought it's okay. That was my opinion. Rewatching it now, I'll say it's okay at best. And the editing is an issue because they edit it like it's a trailer, but it's a 2-hour-long film.
Yeah, and one of the things I did notice is that the introduction scenes they have for the various characters, it's essentially Zombieland, where they have these bang, 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 bang words on screen, and for Zombieland that works great.
Yeah.
Here it seems a little pushed.
Yes.
I mean, like there were some really good jokes in there, like with Deadshot, where they list all the different weapons he's able to use. They include potato gun. I'm like, well, that's unusual.
Yeah.
It's a good joke though.
Yeah. And I think one of the problems with that, like that kind of like, not that there aren't other humorous moments in the film. I mean, you've got Will Smith, Mr. Charisma, whether you love him or hate him, the guy's got a ton of charisma. He gets some funny lines in there.
Right.
but it's also there's parts of the film where you're watching it and you're like, I feel like this is David Ayer's work, and when you're trying to search through the editing, because one of the things he said multiple times is that he tried to really give this movie a lot of heart and to give you, even though these characters are villains or are at best misguided people who are broken, he's trying to make you sympathize with them and show there's more to him.
And that comment is especially pertinent to the character of Diablo.
Yes,
because
he's one of the best for a movie that's got some problems. He's one of the best characters in the film.
Yeah, and that I can't wait to talk about that. But I digress. Continue.
Yeah, and like I said, so I can see it. Like there's like the moments where I can genuinely see a bond forming between Harley and Deadshot, and just moments. Other moments like stuff like when like they're in the bar towards the end of this, and then they just find out the entire truth of why this mission has come together, and like Harley's like dishing out like we're all broken and ugly inside, and Killer and she says like Killer Croc's like I'm beautiful on the outside too, and Harley like gives him like yeah you are. It's those moments like that's got to be David Ayer trying to show these characters coming together, because some of them you can still see the bonds from. Other characters I don't as much, like Captain Boomerang, played by
Jay
Courtney, who I have not enjoyed him in a lot of films. I did not like for Terminator Genesis. I mean, that movie is bad overall, but I don't think he's that great of an actor. But in this one, like he has some funny moments.
Right. I think Captain Boomerang is actually a very good part of this, and I'm actually very excited to see how they give him a chance to grow in the Suicide Squad. From what I know. The Suicide Squad is kind of a I'm not gonna say an offshoot, but it's adjacent to the other, because you're getting a couple of the characters who have been grandfathered into this new story, and as if it's like a different version of Task Force X.
Yeah, I'm viewing it as akin to like in comics. You'll have one writer and an artist attached to a property for like 4 or 5, 6 years or whatever. And then eventually maybe they'll discontinue the comic and they'll bring it back. And when they bring it back, they have a different artist and writer. And that's how I'm kind of viewing these two movies. And that's what's going on. We have different writers and a different, and in many ways it feels different because we got somebody else at the helm, but it's still the continuation of that history in a way. It's just this director has James Gunn. We see through the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which are some of the most popular movies in the MCU. Him bringing this thing where we have these group of wacky misfit characters, but he makes you care about them so much, and that's part of the problem with the first Suicide Squad, is that there's moments of them trying to get you invested in the characters, and some of them you do, like just because Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn just knocks it out of the park every time, in my opinion.
I want to circle back to that in a few.
Yeah. But because of the way it's edited and because of things they probably added or took out from the studio interference, it's like I have trouble completely getting invested in the characters and story, especially the premise, which even them fighting Enchantress, or the idea the squad was formed to take on a Superman level threat, which even David Ayer himself has admitted he probably should have made Joker the main villain, because having a being that can wipe out a planet is probably too much for the Suicide Squad at first. Like they could have somebody like Count Vertigo, just off the top of my head. Maybe have him be the villain or something. A Joker would have done well, even though I'm not a fan of Jared Leto's Joker.
Oh, I want to talk about that.
Well, you know what, man? We can now circle back around to what you want to talk about, or we can just go straight into Joker. I'm gonna leave that to you.
Okay, let's talk about Joker. Because,
okay.
Oh, I don't like Jared Leto. I think that Jared Leto is a completely overrated actor. I think the last thing I can say that I liked him in was Fight Club, and that's because he got the living shit kicked out of him
by the Hulk, or the first Hulk, we'll say.
But here he just seemed like a wannabe juggalo.
Yeah, I don't like. Apparently, this version is somewhat based on a one version from like either a video game or some kind of comic, but I just go this super aggro gangsta type of Joker. Really, it took away the charm and the mystique of the character. Yeah,
the Joker, in my opinion, yeah, he's blatantly a flawed character, and he has things missing from him. But here, he's unremorseful. He doesn't have any any reason to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least in Jack Nicholson's interpretation, or Heath Ledger's interpretation, or even Mark Hamill's vocal work, which is still, in my opinion, the number one way that anybody will be able to accept the Joker for the future. They had nuance. They had the ability to show a little bit of humanity through their work, and show that they were not perfect individuals, but they had something there. Whereas Jared Leto, in my opinion, is just like, he comes in, he chews the scenery, and gets the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, am I allowed to say that?
Say wherever the fuck you want.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's the one of the things that makes the Joker such a great character, especially in live action format, is yes, whether it's Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, or Mark Hamill doing animated.
I mean, like, even to an effect where you get to have Cesar Romero in the '66 version.
Yeah.
See, and I think he doesn't get enough credit for the fact that he was a product of his era, because there is a lot of pulp, a lot of goofiness and camp in that era of Batman, and
Because of the comics code, because they had to pull things back. Yeah.
right. So you have this character who is blatantly goofy and silly, and I think that's the right type of character you needed for '66.
Yeah. Because think about the Joker's, when the Joker's done well, he's the scene stealer. Like,
Right.
in the Dark Knight, Heath Ledger. Every time he was on screen, the second he was off screen, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see the next scene with Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with Jack Nicholson's
Yes,
Joker.
exactly.
It's like, because you're like, okay, I want to see what he's going to do next, because it was always shocking. I think the most shocking scene for me in 1989 Batman was the hand buzzer gag.
Oh my God, yeah.
That came out of left field.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect type of Joker gag that you want.
Yeah, because that's something from the comics. So you get electrocuted and right? But because of the the way he was acting goofy, like dancing, like, oh no, the sweet night, and then you see that burnt corpse. It's just like, wow, he took something that is just this goofy gag and he made it terrifying, and that's what the Joker does. He'll make you laugh, but also make you go, like, clutch your pearls and stuff. You know what I mean?
And the most twisted part about that is that he's talking to the corpse after it's turned into a crisp.
Yeah, he's an opportunist for the next joke. As terrifying as these jokes can get, and yeah, Jared Leto's Joker just doesn't do it. Like, every time he's on screen, I'm not having that feeling of, oh, I can't wait to see the next scene with. I never got that feeling with him.
I think part of it also is that I don't see Jared Leto as having any bit of a sense of humor to himself.
Well, he tried to with his. Have you heard of the sets? The pranks he pulled on set.
I don't think those are pranks. I think those are more just sociopathic behavior.
Yeah, for everyone who doesn't know, he was Jared Leto was apparently a method actor, which means even when the camera's off, he stays in character. And one of the things he would do was he would mail dead mice to the other co-stars. Or one of them actually got anal beads mailed to them at one point, and he thought, this is what the Joker does. It's like, no, listen, the Joker's a psychopath, but he has proper, that's what a 16-year-old does. The Joker, and that just bothers me. And another thing that I bothers me about the mischaracterization of the Joker is, in this movie, they make it out to be that he does actually genuinely care about Harley Quinn, which... One of the great things that came out of Harley Quinn, who was a creation of the Batman animated series, she wasn't made in the comics.
Right.
She got into the comics because she was such a popular character, is that hers is a story of a woman who's in an abusive relationship. She doesn't realize that this guy has manipulated her and tricked her into thinking that he does care about her. And part of her story is realizing the truth that she's just a pawn for him, and she empowers herself by getting away from him and making her own path in life. But
and I think that that storyline was very well executed in the Harley Quinn animated series.
Oh, I just watched that with my girlfriend. We watched 2 seasons in a week. Oh, that show's so good.
Yes, I know. I can't wait for season 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the type of story you have, and it kind of gets under my skin whenever you have couples saying, "I want to have a relationship like Harley and Joker." I'm like, "No, you don't."
Oh my god, dude, you are preaching to the choir here.
That's almost as bad as somebody who wants to play Every Breath You Take at their wedding.
Yeah.
That's just, it's a good idea, but it's completely and utterly misguided.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Like, I understand you want to have a passionate love, but you kind of want to have somebody who is also going to respect you.
Exactly. And I say, for anyone out there who wants to be like, if you want an actual like weird, macabre, if you will, couple that you would like to look at, and you're like, I just say Gomez Morticia Adams.
That is the perfect archetype to mention there, because are they horrible? Yes. Are they sick? Are they twisted? Yeah. But you know what? They love the ever loving hell out of each other,
yes.
And they show it all the time. And you can see in their children that the kids know that they've got a very loving relationship
yes.
in their parents.
Exactly. It's a weird but that's the Addams family. But they have a very healthy relationship, whereas like and it's so weird because one of the scenes that we found out from as things went on is that there were many more scenes with Joker and Harley Quinn shot for this film, that Jared Leto himself said they could have made a whole movie just on that. But one of the scenes was like, I guess because they didn't want to hurt their relationship, and there's like a focus group thing that happened where you see Joker strike Harley in the face, and they cut that out of the film, which which is weird because but you got, here's the thing, I don't like seeing women get hit, but it makes sense for the Joker. But then later in the film they have Slipknot, the man who can climb anything, which I hope he makes more sense in the comics because that sounds ridiculous to me. He hits a woman. It's like he hits it. So like, wait, do you guys have a problem with like? I get people. You don't want to see a woman get hit. I totally get that. But like, we still saw a woman get hit in the movie. So what did it matter if it was from the Joker or Slipknot?
Yeah, well, I mean, like with Slipknot though, he got his immediate comeuppance because as he's trying to escape, he just goes, bye head.
I'll give him that. But it's just,
and I think that would actually be a justified reason to have the character hit a woman. I mean, like, is it cruel? Yeah. Do I want women to be hit? Absolutely not. No. But that is, in my opinion, actually a fair motivation for having that character just be off, just willy-nilly, no thought behind it.
Yeah.
All right, but since since it's going to be an easy segue, we can now talk about Harley Quinn.
Yes, let's talk about.
Again, I don't know how they figured out Margot Robbie would be the perfect Harley, but she embodies the character very well. You can see a lot of Bruce Timm's original character in her. I'm not sure if I'm part of a minority here, but I really liked Birds of Prey, the fantabulous emancipation of one Miss Harley Quinn.
You're right,
and the reason why is because it actually showed the character post Joker,
right,
and it also gave her a chance to be fully clothed.
Yes,
it just seemed like Harley's outfit was created by a 12-year-old boy. Don't get me wrong, the shirt's really cool. Daddy's a little monster. That's really neat. But booty shorts and fishnets.
Yeah, not even.
Don't get me wrong. I like booty shorts and fishnets. But if you are a superhero or a supervillain, that just kind of doesn't. It's not conducive to fighting style.
Yeah, like I can understand maybe there's a delete scene where we show that if there was, like, I don't know, if there's a scene where like Harley dresses super over sexualized for Joker's benefit, then the booty shorts would make sense because they would showcase Joker's control over her. But since that's not really the route they were going with, yeah, like I don't know.
And also that ogling scene where she's getting dressed and you see that. I will say though, the bra was really interesting as far as costuming because of the color scheme that they put together.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice piece of costume, but I don't want that to be the focus of the character.
Yeah, because he tells them like, here's all your equipment, here's all your clothing, put something on. She chooses the booty shorts, which in the new one, I think they have her with the leather jacket corset kind of thing going on here, and the pants.
She's wearing the red dress with combat boots, which honestly that is very badass of her, and also the costuming in Fantabulous was good for her also, because it got a chance to show more of her personality through costuming.
Yeah,
and also the voicing that she did for Harley, she sounds absolutely perfect.
Exactly. Like I think Tara Strong, the famous. If you don't know, I'm not saying I'm an expert on voice actors, but Tara Strong, the famous voice actress who did the original Harley, who did.
Actually, there's a caveat there.
Oh, okay.
Tara Strong is known for being Harley, but the first few seasons of, at least the first season of Batman the Animated Series, Harley was voiced by an actress by the name of Arlene Sorkin.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, and the only reason why I know that person is because for a few years, thanks Mom for forcing me into watching this with her, she played a character on Days of Our Lives.
Oh,
and so I knew the actress's name.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, it was cool to see her kind of that the mantle that she left the mantle of Harley Quinn, but it was taken on by Tara Strong and given a lot more nuance.
Yeah, Tara Strong is a great voice actress. If you're not familiar with her, she's done. Look up her name. She's done, like, for instance, she's the voice of Tommy Pickles from Rugrats.
Oh, she's
done so many things over the years.
She is very well known in brony circles because of all the characters she's done for My Little Pony.
Yeah,
which my daughter loves My Little Pony.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just to digress for a second.
No, all right.
My eldest daughter is 23 years old. She's high-functioning autistic, but she has the sensibilities of an 8-year-old. And I gave her a cell phone for her birthday. And anytime she sends me a text, she's like, "I love you, Daddy." And then there's like 15 pictures of My Little Pony. And it's like, I can't think of My Little Pony without thinking of her. So
it's okay, man. Those connections happen.
I mean, like, does it get annoying? Yeah, but is it adorable? Of course.
Yeah, no, okay. Bronies. But yeah.
And now back to our regularly scheduled program.
But anyway, yeah, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn doing a great job. I mean, and she was great in Birds of Prey, aka the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Going back to your run, I saw that movie. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it either. Like, there were certain things that bothered me in it, but once again, Margot Robbie was great in it. Yeah. Just for me, I didn't think Birds of Prey reached its full potential, but I did like what the director was doing in there, because the clothing thing, the first time I saw it, I didn't even think about the way they were dressed, and then I had a friend of mine, a female friend of mine, pointed out to me, and I didn't notice it was my dude brain, but it didn't matter because all the characters, had their own looks to it, and the side, and some of them still look great, like the actress who played Black Canary, she looked great too. She had that kind of one like business suit jacket with pants, but then she had kind of like the top thing underneath that, and it wasn't over sexualized, but she still looked. And all the the ladies in that looked beautiful, but they also looked like they were ready to fight.
Yes, and that's another thing I have to give with superhero costuming, is that you want to have them look like these are utility costumes, where they will be used for armor or shielding.
Yeah.
I believe, the Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is a good example of this, because it's not just Linda Carter booty shorts from the 70s. She's actually got a costume that actually gives her some protection, and works well with the character.
Yeah, because the modern version is got that Greek Roman armor where it's got the skirt, but it's an armored skirt instead of the booty shorts, and the gauntlets, of course, classic gauntlets, and the modern day use of shield and sword with her with her weapons.
And it isn't so stoked in its BDSM roots.
Yes, which that could be a whole video onto itself. But let's just say the guy who invented Wonder Woman had a lifestyle that today is more well known and understand, but 80 years ago was not. So, yeah. But I think the character has evolved past those roots of it. Right. But anyway, so now.
But can we talk about Deadshot though?
Oh, I was about to say let's move on to another character. Let's talk about Deadshot, played by Will Smith.
Okay. Will Smith, if given a good character, can be absolutely charming. Agent J in Men in Black, for example. Yeah. Here, I know he was trying to go for something a little more edgy, but it seemed like it just didn't fit his personality right, in my opinion. Was he giving it his all? Yes, absolutely. I mean, like Will's known for giving above and beyond, but I think when everything is said and done, it wasn't the greatest. I don't think he was the greatest choice in acting. I would rather, honestly, and this is a hot take, I'd rather see Will Smith take on a character like Steel, who was Shaquille O'Neal massively did not do a good job with him. But if you have an actor like Will Smith taking on that type of character, yeah. I think that his ability to add nuance and add humor and charisma would actually benefit that type of character. It's essentially Steel in Will Smith's hands would be the antithesis to Hancock.
Oh, okay, Hancock, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. I think Will Smith does a good job with what's going on in the movie. I've heard a lot of people make the complaint that his Deadshot, it just feels like Will Smith, but if Will Smith was a bad person.
Right.
Yeah, because like it's got some of the humor, it's got some of that edge to it. Like, what's that line he does after when they have him on the gun range? Like, y'all jokers must be crazy or something. Like he tries to do that. Like, yeah. Like it's like Fresh Prince, but if Fresh Prince was a gangster or something.
Right. Again, it just seemed a little forced.
Yeah, I will say at least I see some motivation in him. He's got the daughter thing,
right?
Whereas like Jai Courtney, as much as Jai Courtney is fun in this movie, like Captain Boomerang really does have no motivation in the movie. No. His only motivation is not to die.
Yeah, and the only reason why you have him is just so we could have that cameo by Ezra Miller as the Flash.
Yes, yeah. Which I like right after, because they like it's that part of the movie where like Amanda Waller, which we'll get into Amanda Waller in a minute, is like explaining who each character of the Suicide Squad is, because like these characters are all new. They don't have any previous movies where we met them first, and now they're, which is a challenge of this first movie, is a lot of these characters are new to the general public. Like a few people, like Harley Quinn's a big character, so there's probably a few people in the general public who know who Harley Quinn is, but I doubt most people of the general public knew who Deadshot was, or Captain Boomerang,
or Diablo,
or Diablo. Yeah, I mean, some people probably knew about Killer Croc because of the Batman animated series.
Which I think that character was underused.
Killer Croc?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just kind of there to be the muscle. He has that few moments, like I said, like I'm beautiful on the outside, but beyond that, he's just there to be the I don't want to sound like an asshole, but like the dog of the group. Do you know what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah, he's
and I'm not trying to shit on the actor. Like,
yeah, because I can't ever say his name, but it's the fellow with the very
deep voice.
Yes.
Hey, he was in like that G.I. Joe movie. I know who you're talking about.
And he was Mr. Echo in Lost, and I loved him on Lost. He had that show in itself showed what kind of range he had as an actor, and I don't think he's really given a chance to shine in this one.
Yeah.
Because of that, because of his he's an incredibly skilled and and um, and nuanced actor. Not to use the term again, but he knows how to do things right. But I think that he's just hidden under so much makeup and not given enough time to express his character that he just comes off as just set dressing.
Yeah. The problem is that because once again, none of these characters were set up in previous films. Because one of the things, as I say, that the studio definitely screwed up when it came to the DCU is that they rushed things. I mean, they rushed the Justice League, just trying to get that film out as is before they introduced Aquaman properly and Flash and Cyborg. But yeah, and I think one of the things that probably would have helped this film out a lot if they had shrunk down the size of the Suicide Squad. I looking back, they probably should have only had 5 characters form the squad.
Yeah. It eventually gets lower with the goodbye of Slipknot.
This is true. But, yeah.
Oh man, a character who was named after a '90s metal band, man.
Yeah, but they definitely not setting up. Which I'll give David Ayer credit. That's a tall order. We want all these characters in there. And then of course if you include the Enchantress, who's first part of the squad and then ends up being the villain, which a lot of people are like, wait, who's the villain in the movie? I remember.
Yeah, that's another moot point, another good point there because there is no clear-cut villain.
Yeah, I mean, because Amanda Waller's just as much as a villain as Enchantress is.
Right, and it's not expressed properly. Does Suicide Squad have some great moments? Absolutely, but I think that the muddier waters of the movie take away from it.
Yeah, the muddy waters outside the sewage treatment plant. Thank you.
Hey-o! Yes, sir. You are right.
But before we get into Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis, fantastic actress. If you haven't seen her, The Help, fucking great movie. But anyway, let's talk about Diablo real quick because he's definitely one of the better for a character that's trying to stay out of the action a lot for a good chunk of the movie. Not you get.
But you also get good reason for him wanting to stay out of the action because he realizes that his power is incredibly destructive, and he wants to just. And he even said while he was in the tank, I don't want to hurt people anymore. I'm not the person I used to be, which I can actually see as a.
I was gonna say born again Christian, considering the whole coming out of prison thing.
Well, I was going to say there are a lot of I've seen a lot of stories on gangbangers and former gang members who have come out of prison and have renounced their past ways. Same thing with skinheads. There's a lot of people who have been given the opportunity to reflect and realize that their past work has not been beneficial.
Right.
And I see that type of idea in Diablo, and I will say though that the fire effects they have for the character, I can't remember the actor's name.
I know, I feel horrible too.
I apologize. Hey, can we just put his name right here in post? Thank you. So what we're going to, I love that his final sacrifice felt so understandable, where that he's using his powers, but he's using them for good, because that's what he felt like that's the way he was going to be able to atone for his past behavior.
Yeah. Diablo. Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, his is he's just trying to reform and repent and just become better. And it's because Deadshot basically becomes the leader of the group, whereas Diablo becomes I don't know what to say, like the heart or moral compass of the group.
I think moral compass is a better way of putting it, because you know that he's got a distinct set of, he has distinct morals that he's trying to follow and live to.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. And yeah, honestly, I would have. It's kind of a shame that he does die at the end of the movie, because I would have been down for a Diablo spin-off film where we see him, maybe he goes back home, and because he like was like, I'm guessing the top like gangbanger gangster in his city, that he left, and there was a power vacuum after he left, and now this new gang, they've got their own metahumans, and he's got to go back and try to like set things right, which is unfortunate. But still, the sacrifice was like, somebody had to die in this movie besides Slipknot, just to show like, oh yeah, the bombs are real.
Yeah. Well,
so his sacrifice, it was a good way to go out, but at the same time, oh man, I wish like he survived.
It was very heartbreaking.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I think that idea would have been very Ayer. I think David Ayer probably insisted upon that. So
yeah.
I mean, overall, okay, Amanda Waller,
the possibly, even though Enchantress is an antagonist, as the true villain is kind of Amanda Waller, and she's such a like, I get it. She's a super, what's the word, like, she's
supernatural.
Super. Well, I would say I don't want to say super nationalist, because she's so protective of America and its interests that she will.
Oh, I thought we were talking about. Enchantress.
No. We're going for Amanda Waller, who formed the Suicide Squad.
I apologize. I'm a dork sometimes.
It's okay. But yeah, I mean, she's definitely like, whatever it takes to protect America, even if it's stuff that'll actually make America ugly. As long as America is in power, I'll do whatever it takes. She there are no boundaries for this woman.
To an extent, it kind of reminds me of the upcoming character of Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad, because the character is so blinded by his want to create peace that everything around it just becomes null and void.
Oh yeah, the John Cena character,
yeah.
Who I believe John Cena described in the interview as a douchebag Captain America.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that'll be fun. I mean, he's getting his own spin-off series on HBO Max, from what I've heard.
Right. And
so they must have a lot of confidence in the character.
Yeah. And again, in fact, I mean, like a douchebag's Captain America, that just sounds like a fun idea.
Yeah.
I mean, like you have Captain America going around wearing a pair of Oakleys and having Guy Fieri hair.
He's going around and just like, what are we having for dessert? Oh, we're having pie. What kind of pie? Pecan. We eat apple pie in this American household. You bitch. But yeah, going back to Amanda Waller, she's so blind that she thinks what she's doing is right. There's that moment where they get to like the secret bunker she's hiding in the building. She gets in, she looks at Flag, who's now been able to get to her thanks to the Suicide Squad, and she's like, "See, Flag, the Suicide Squad works." And it's like, the whole Suicide Squad was a good idea. And they're like, Amanda, if you hadn't formed a Suicide Squad, the city wouldn't be taken over by an extra-dimensional sorceress right now. All of this is happening because you formed a Suicide Squad. Like, what? Like, this is all your fault.
That's exactly it. It's just it's the idea of bringing in you're bringing in a tiger to rid yourself of a lion problem.
Yeah. And
the lion is somebody you brought in because you wanted to have a zoo, and this thing got loose.
Yeah. This is like Mega Tiger King or something. just stuff is just gonna go bad. Oh. Or the old movie Roar, if you're familiar with that film, and then what's behind that. I'll go with Roar. That's actually a better example, I think.
Oh my! And sidebar: if you haven't seen Roar, oh my God!
Yes.
Just you get to see so much. That was again. Roar was suggested to be kind of a good idea and went so damn wrong.
Because it was handled by people who shouldn't have been handling it in the first place.
Yes.
If you know what we're talking, we're not going to get into it, because that's once again that's a
story
video onto itself.
To be continued.
Yes. Red Letter Media did a review of it in their Best of the Worst series. So if you want like a breakdown, they did.
And also, if we can put a link to it, We did a supercut of Roar.
Oh.
Last year, I believe. So we'll. I can give you the link to that. So
Link will be down.
That link will be right here.
Yeah.
Wait. Where the hell is it?
It's up in the link will be up in the corner because you cannot. You can't put links in the middle anymore. I hate that. Yeah, we'll be up in the corner or down in the description unless I forget.
In this corner? No.
Ah, the link just smacked me in the face. Anyway, but anyway, yeah. So Amanda Waller, like in Viola Davis, I will say Viola Davis does play the character with intimidation, and she's definitely sinister.
And I'm glad that she came back for the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big fan of Batfleck, but I'm glad that he showed up for a few scenes just to kind of give gravitas and reason for Deadshot's arc.
Yes, which was funny. Like when you really think about it, he confronts Deadshot and his daughter while they're walking down an alleyway,
which is.
Yeah, I don't want to do this in front of your daughter. You are doing this in front of his daughter. You couldn't wait till he put her down to sleep after read her a bedtime story about the war or something. I don't know, but it's just like, I mean, it does Here's the thing. I remember there was an episode of the animated series where it told why Dick Grayson stopped being Robin and he left and became Nightwing, where Batman interrogated a guy that was working for Joker or somebody, and he did it in front of the guy's family. And then Robin was like, "We should do this," and Batman's like, "We'll leave when I'm done." And then later in the episode, you see that even though Batman did that, got intimidated in front of his family, he gave him a job as Bruce Wayne. So it's like that counterbalance. But Batman should not be going after families in alleys. I get it's Deadshot, I get it, but no.
Right. There are boundaries.
Yes. But anyway, yeah. So Amanda Waller, I don't think it's some people I point out earlier that she doesn't realize everything is her fault that's happening. I think that's part of her character. A lot of people are saying that that's a flaw in the character, but no, I think that's a purposeful flaw.
Oh, I think that's a flaw in a lot of people where they think that they're doing the right thing.
Yes.
But when time looks back at it, they don't realize that what they did was the damaging item.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, she's got an ends justify the means.
Right.
Now, I'm not sure where to go from here, but I'll just say this. At the end of the movie, we see that once again, I didn't like the whole Joker actually caring about Harley thing, but apparently, we see that Joker supposedly dies. He doesn't. It's okay. He comes back and breaks Harley out of the prison at the end, and no, I don't mean to go back to the Joker, but I felt like this why didn't he just do that from the beginning then?
Yeah, it seemed out of character for the Joker.
Yeah,
because Joker being a complete and utter solipsist, where he thinks that the world revolves around him, he wouldn't do something like that out of altruism. It's not the Joker.
Yeah, which is something. Not that I want to see Jared Leto as the Joker again. I would have liked to see this at least one scene with him and Harley in Birds of Prey, just to show the breaking up. But because I think that's one thing that was missing from that movie, and this is a nitpick, just to put that out there.
Okay.
But yeah, but
okay, just a little bit of dream casting.
Okay.
If you could change Jared Leto for a different Joker, who would you choose?
And we're not doing gangster Joker.
I'm sure if you want to do gangster Joker, that's possible, but I don't think Violent J or Shaggy 2-Dope would be a good choice.
Let's see. You know what? Even though he's already played a DC character, the Penguin. I think I'm saying this guy's name right. If I'm remembering, Robin Lord Taylor, who played Penguin in the Gotham TV series, even though I eventually fell out of that series, he did a great job as Penguin. I could see him playing a really good Joker. He's got the right physique. He's kind of got a slim look. He's got that mania that he brought to Penguin. So he's coming to mind. If I sat down and I gave him more thought, but right now I would say that. I'm assuming you have somebody in mind.
I have a complete wild card.
Okay, throw it at me.
John Mulaney.
Oh.
Because John Mulaney, as a as a comic by nature will have that comic timing, but also if you see John now, you kind of think he has a kind of little something underneath that could go completely batshit.
Yeah, you know what? That makes. I don't think that's such a bad idea. And he's been getting, he has done acting and stuff like and voice acting. He was
Spider-Ham.
Yeah, Spider-Ham.
Which I'm glad Spider-Verse brought Spider-Ham back from the 1980s where he was just kind of relegated to Star Comics.
Yeah, and then we got Croc Loki recently. So
oh my god, that was a brilliant thing for the MCU to do, because again, just so wickedly strange, which also kind of goes in with Frog Thor, if you notice that Easter egg.
I missed it. People told me it was in there, but I just totally missed it. But there were so many Easter eggs in that one episode. If we're just doing a little offshoot, the Thanos copter was there, for Christ's sakes.
Right. That was a shock. But yeah, going back, I think that if they were able to redo the Joker, having somebody who actually wasn't going method but was able to go sensible, somebody who could actually feel the vibe of the character of the Joker, because I think it was Jack Nicholson who said, if you're going to do the Joker, you're going to need some psychiatric help afterwards.
Yeah, because he enjoys seeing people in pain. To him, anything is a joke, nothing, which is kind of a thing in stand-up comedy where, like, you can make a joke about anything. It's just how you exaggerate it or what context you put it in. But his context is what would be cruel. What would be like, he's still trying to be funny. The Joker, still thinks he's actually very humorous, which, once again, that's a good sign of an actor who's playing the Joker. If there are times where he's kind of funny, like going back to Heath Ledger, it's like, he did have a few funny lines, and the one criminal leader, he's just like, do you think you can just walk in here and scam us all? And he's just like, yeah, and it's funny. It's a funny little moment,
and also the fact that Heath Ledger has had some experience with comic timing. He was in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah,
and again, he got a chance to be charming in that, but also funny.
Yeah,
and I don't think I've ever seen a funny Jared Leto performance.
Not that I've seen every movie he's been in, but I don't know. What was that one Nick Cage movie he was in? Because if you're in a Nick Cage movie, there's got to be a joke somewhere.
Wait a minute, Nick Cage movie is a joke in itself.
Dogs of War, I think it was called, or something.
Sidebar though, I'm really loving the fact that Nick Cage is becoming this generation's Boris Karloff, where he just wants he doesn't give a shit. He just wants to be in anything.
Yeah.
And his background has given him a lot of respect, though, because is it a shitty movie? Probably. But is Nick having a hell of a time in it? Of course.
Oh yeah.
Willy's Wonderland is a great example.
I was just about to bring it up because I forgot what the name of the Five Nights at Freddy's knockoff, but I have not. Is it good?
Oh, I friggin' love it. If you're going to watch Willy's Wonderland, I would say do it on a double feature with the Banana Splits movie, because they both have kind of a similar vibe, where you have these child loved characters, but turned completely sinister.
Yeah. All this started with Nick Cage because he let his movie stardom get to his head, and he was buying multiple mansions and just all these super expensive comic books and just weird stuff where he was in so much in debt he had to take whatever role he could take. But it's working to his benefit now, where it's people are going to see these B movies because he's in it and because he's Nicolas Cage doing his Nicolas Cage thing.
And honestly, I think after everything's said and done, I think he's having a ball doing
totally.
All of this. Look at him in Mandy. He's given a chance to just be a complete and utter badass, and just is owning it every moment of the way. Even if it's a stupid joke like "knock knock, who's there?" Eric Estrada. Eric Estrada who? Eric Estrada from Chips. That's
It's so dumb that it's funny.
exactly.
I get it. Yeah, no. But we need to get Nick Cage. Like, I know he did like Kick-Ass, but we need to get him back. He did Kick-Ass and Ghost Rider, but let's get him into something like they just do. They do.
And I think Nick Cage definitely needs to have a new superhero film.
Oh my God! Braingasm. So
okay,
finish what you were gonna say.
But my suggestion is don't have him be a hero. I would love to see him as either an anti-hero or a straight up villain.
I think he'd definitely be fun as a villain. He could be, if in the right role, he could be what Jeff Goldblum was to Ragnarok.
That is a great analysis.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, my braingasm.
Yeah. But what would be really funny is because through the Arrowverse on the CW, they have established the multiverse. They established it years ago. The new, even though this would be a really weird, it wouldn't fit in the show. I'm just going to say it right now. It wouldn't fit in the show because I'm really loving the Superman and Lois show. And if they had him as the Superman we never got to see from that Tim Burton film that never got made.
Wow. That is a great idea. And also, if you're giving him an opportunity to be de-aged with the right technology, that could be a very, very interesting view on it.
Yeah. And they would have to play it seriously because, like, the new Superman Lois show, Jamie, I don't know if you've seen it or not. I really recommend it. They got 2 more episodes left. It's a really good show. This is the Superman I wanted to see in the movies. Tyler Hoechlin's played great. Elizabeth Tulick's played a great Lois Lane. The story they got going, the twists and turns, the 2 characters played. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm about to go on Superman and Lois Lane. No. But anyway, seeing him pop in from another universe, because part of the storyline is Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. He's Superman, but he's having trouble with his sons as a father. He's trying to do the right thing, and it'd be cool to have Nicolas Cage come in, not de-age him, just have him play an older Superman from his universe, and he gives him a fatherly advice from his own time as a father and stuff like that. I think that'd be a cool episode. Yeah, and I mean, the ratings would be through the roof. Nick Cage.
Yeah, but that actually brings a really good idea though. Is that the DCU incorporating the concept of the multiverse just opens up the whole everything.
Well, that's the funny thing. On the Arrowverse on the CW, they did the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline, and they went through the other universes. We saw the Adam West and Burt Ward universe. We saw Burt Ward as an older Robin walking his dog. We saw the Michael Keaton universe briefly. We saw the Birds of Prey TV series from the early 2000s. They established, because in that Grant
Morrison?
No. Grant, the guy who plays the Flash on TV. Grant Gustin. Grant Gustin's Flash meets the Ezra Miller Flash because they're bouncing between. They meet. It's just this one scene, and it was a huge surprise. They kept it under wraps that Ezra Miller was having this cameo. So they established that the DCU is part of the Arrowverse multiverse. So they've already and considering the upcoming Flash movie with Ezra Miller is bringing back Michael Keaton's Batman, they're reestablishing this whole multiverse thing. So it's already out there and just ready to be Marvel's getting into it too, but
it gives such an open-ended storyline. Actually, since we're mentioning different multiverses, I was really enjoying whenever Adam West was alive. There were animated versions of Batman 66.
Oh yeah, I never got to see them,
but the one that really caught me off guard that was fascinating was they never had Two-Face in the original series.
Oh.
But they did an animated version where Two-Face was in there, and as Two-Face, William Shatner.
William Shatner?
Yeah.
Oh.
William Shatner vocalizing Two-Face was kind of damn brilliant.
I see it working. Oh man, you know what? I just realized how far off topic we've gone, but this has been fun. But anyway, so let's go into our how about let's go into our final thoughts on David Ayer's. Well, I'll say Warner Brothers. I'm not gonna say it's David Ayer's because they did not show his.
Okay, my final thought is, Warner Brothers version, it has its moments, but I would rather see the David Ayer cut just to see how much more coherent it is,
Yes.
as compared to the as compared to the studio meddling, because studio meddling is all about the paycheck, whereas the artist is all about the art.
Exactly. That's something that's been coming up, especially this past year when Warner Brothers did that move where they were going to release all their movies on streaming, but they didn't tell anybody. They just announced it the one day, and that pissed off every director in Hollywood, and even got the Directors Guild on their asses. It's like it's a shame that these studios are being run by people who are, and there is a business side to Hollywood. I am not denying that. Every actor and director has to have some business sense, but the people running the studios have no imagination. They have no creativity. They have no sense of art, and that's what's hurting. And unfortunately, Suicide Squad, the first one, is an example of that. They gave the movie to be edited by a company that does not edit full length films. And they had all this star power in the film, and they just didn't have faith because another movie didn't do as well as they want. And it just is a shame. It's a shame. This is an example of a movie that was ruined by the studio. And once again, I would be down to see David Ayer's cut, which apparently, according to him, does exist. It is out there somewhere, and apparently it's finished.
It's just waiting for probably HBO Plus to offer it up.
Yeah, which maybe if he can get the kind of like movement going that Snyder did, maybe that would happen. I'm not saying it would be great, because on one hand he's directed movies like End of Watch, which I've heard is very good. On the other hand, he also directed the movie Bright, which also another Will Smith one, which I did not enjoy. Bright, I didn't hate it, but I'm just like, this movie seemed so cool, but then it turned out so meh. So it's a shame. I think there could have been something good there, but just too many I don't even want to say cooks in the kitchen. I will say too many owners of kitchens that push their cooks out of the kitchen.
Yeah. So overall, let's just say that if Hollywood was willing to put more artists in higher regard at studios, where they're given an opportunity to, where have it like be a two-person system where you have the president of the CEO of the company, but you also have a CEO of the art, where they get a chance to just bounce things off of each other and make a final decision. That would be brilliant. Is it ever going to happen? Fuck no. But it would be brilliant.
Yeah, they need. I don't want to I know I'm making the Marvel comparison, but Marvel Studios is headed by Kevin Feige. Now, Marvel is owned by Disney, so obviously Kevin Feige has to talk to, the Disney people. But for the most part, they let Feige do his thing. And if the DCU had a captain, which at first was Zack Snyder, and unfortunately we saw what happened with that, they need a consistent leadership in charge of the DCU, and they just don't have that. And they need a Feige. I'm not saying give it to Feige. I'm just saying they need somebody who's got that divide, who's got that balance of business and knows how to handle his talent.
Right. Yeah. All right. But it looks like we are at the end of our time.
We are.
Vincent, it has been absolutely wonderful to
Back
to
at
be
you, man.
here,
It's been a
be
while.
here with you. Yeah.
You got something to promote?
Really? Okay.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jamie from Neo Trash Video, Pittsburgh's preeminent video-based comedy troupe. And on August 31st, we are coming back from Plague World. We're getting back into the swing of things. We are finally getting back to do a bad movie bingo on August 31st at 7:30 p.m. at the Smiling Moose in Southside, where we are going to be showing 1993's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time.
I didn't set that up ahead of time. It just happens to be right here. Bam!
So yeah, we're gonna be doing a bad movie bingo. If you're familiar with bad movie bingo, we watch a movie ahead of time, figure out the various tropes and cliches, and as the movie goes on, we call them off. All those things are written into bingo cards. 5 in a row, you get a $5 credit at the bar. And but we do it as a labor of love because we love to perform. We want to be able to do this, and honestly, it's been over a year. It's in our blood to want to do this again. We want to be able to express ourselves and do something fun for everybody. So yeah, feel free to come to the Smiling Moose on April. I'm just going back in time now. No, August 31st, 7:30. Be there or don't be there.
Yeah, guys, I've attended Bad Movie Bingo before many times in the past. It is a good time. You're just hanging out, having drinks, pointing out like all these the dumb things in like the movies that we hate or the movies that we love to hate.
Yeah, well, I like to say it as you've got movies that are so bad that they're good.
Yes.
You've also got movies that weren't appreciated when they were first released, and you're given a chance to appreciate the strangeness of them in this day and time.
Indeed.
But yeah, I'll be there. My co-host Travis is going to be there. My co-host Mike is going to be there, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys. We want to be back, and we want to kick ass. Yeah.
Hell yeah. But anyway, guys, yeah. I'll leave links to Neotrash down in the description to check it out. Their Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of jazz. And so you can, if you need to get directions to find your way to Smiling Moose, which is a good bar as is. Yeah. But anyway, it's a good time. And thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Let us know down in the comments what you thought of the first Suicide Squad. And also, are you excited for the new one coming out, which at the time of this recording is just less than a week away. But I'm going to try to bust this video out real quick. So yeah, let us know your thoughts about the first Suicide Squad. Let us know about your anticipation for the new one. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It helps out more than you think. And of course, if you want to catch more videos in the future, click the subscribe button. But until next time, guys, take it easy.
Thank you. Go forward and be awesome.